Hey nerds, Bevan here, welcome back to my channel. I know, it's been a really hot minute since I did one of these videos, and why do I sound like some After Dark radio host? I don't know. But in all seriousness, folks, this is just like a real quick life update video. And yes, I'm holding the camera in selfie because, as you can see, I'm in a kind of a new setting here because I moved last week. There's actually a lot been going on in my life since the last time I did a video. I think I did a video like a month and a half ago or so, 6 weeks ago. So this is like my update from the last 6 weeks, basically. So last Wednesday, I moved into a new house. It's been really good so far. The move is easy. We moved into a bigger place. There's more room for us and the animals. There's a yard with actual grass for the dogs to go play on, which is a nice upgrade. And everyone's just a lot happier here, including myself, because I have a new office. And by office, I mean room for all my fun, nerdy shit, like that Iron Man poster and this really cool DC plaque that my mom got me for my birthday in February. Finally got to hang it up because I was like, I'm gonna be moving, there's no point hanging it up anywhere until I move, so here we are. And in terms of like this whole like COVID-19 thing, I'm not gonna get super into it, but I've been off work for, it'll be 4 weeks tomorrow actually. March 27th was my last day of work, and I've just been kind of bumming around since then, but like it's been really good for me. Like I haven't been stressed about it. In Canada, we've got a pretty good like EI system here for this whole thing. So government's been giving me money. They're gonna continue giving me money, which I have to spend wisely. It's not like I can just spend this money on toys and comic books, even though I would really like to. But yeah, so that's kind of like the big updates. You know, nothing really too crazy has been going on other than hanging out at home and the move and stuff like that. But I finally kind of put together my office a little bit. Like I've started doing it. So I'll give you a quick go around, and then I think we'll just talk about like what I've been watching on the TVs and the internet. Okay, so this is the door. I'm blocked in by the laundry here. This is, yeah. So this is a bookshelf here with a bunch of stuff that has to like be sorted and placed throughout the house. This is the other bookcase with some stuff on it. That's stuff, box of toys, more toys. This is the desk. Eventually the desk will go under this window here after this stuff is sorted through. This is the comic book corner here, including this. So from here to the window will end up being comic book stuff. And to give you an idea of what that means, here's my X-Men display. So I'm gonna have a couple floating shelves here. One for Batman, one for Spider-Gwen, and then if there's like enough room, I'll make a Spider-Man one as well. Graphic novels. These are some comics I'm trying to sell. This is my collection that I'm sorting through and organizing and everything like that. So yeah, from the window to here is going to be comic books. This space between the frame and the wall is going to be for like movies and TV fandoms like Simpsons and Star Wars and stuff like that. This wall, eventually these bookshelves will be replaced, but this wall is going to be the wrestling wall. I did have that Hasbro ring hung up, but whatever I had jimmied up didn't really work out that well for it. But like the wrestling wall, and then over here in this corner, so the door will open to there, and then between the closet wall and right here is going to be the basketball and potentially hockey corner of the room. I've been super into basketball here in this quarantine. The NBA YouTube channel has been putting up a ton of like classic games that I've been watching. I've watched more basketball in the last month than I have in probably the last 2 or 3 years. And then this is my closet. This built-in shelving unit, I'm gonna actually convert into my bookshelf, which I've kind of started, but I gotta, sort it out and downsize and figure that out. But yeah, this is my office. This is the view to outside. That's my car. It could really go for a cleaning right now, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's my room. That's why I'm holding the camera instead of having it set up on a tripod, just because I don't really have a place for it yet, and I don't have a backdrop for videos yet. So, but I do want to get back into the video thing. My buddy Chris has been doing some stuff on his YouTube channel at DC Radaya, and Leo London, of course, doing the Yu-Gi-Oh thing, and Arnell doing Nerdbusters. All these guys are putting out great content, and it's just like me wanting to keep up with those guys. So hoping to do more content here going forward. And speaking of which, the channel is going to be kind of changing a little bit because I'm kind of changing a little bit. Whereas before, the channel has been mostly toy based. I've kind of decided in the last couple of months that being a toy collector in Canada is just, it's too difficult to keep up because the selection isn't as good. We don't have as many places to purchase, and it's more expensive here. Like a Marvel Legend figure is $30 at Walmart, and that's too much. But I will continue to buy toys, but it won't be like my main focus. I think what I'm doing now is I'm gonna get like really heavy into comic books. This box right there at one point was like, recently, like when the last like couple months, it was maybe like a third full or a quarter full, and I have just been like buying comic books. But I've just been like buying comic books and being super into that because they're cheaper, like they're more affordable. It's like $2 or $3 for a book a lot of the time. And like today I did a trade. It was a $20 value. I got one book out of it, but like, I don't know. I find more joy out of comic books right now than I do in action figures. And that's like not a shot against action figures, obviously, because that's been a passion of mine. I probably became like a collector of toys back when I was like 12 or 13 with the Simpsons figure line, and I haven't really turned back since then. So I think what you'll be seeing going forward here is a lot more. Let's get some better lighting. Turn towards the window. There we go. You will be seeing more comic book content. I have a lot of videos planned that I want to get done, so it's just a point of like figuring out this room to have like a decent backdrop, and then I can start putting out content more often. But like I said, I mean, toys will always be part of my life. I'll always buy toys, but I don't think it's gonna get to a point where I'm gonna be a major toy collector anymore, but I will have a toy collection, if that makes any sense. But it is what it is. People change, people evolve. I'll probably one day come back to being a heavy toy collector. I do throw around the idea of like being a grail collector for wrestling figures, and like going out and getting like the sought after, highly valued wrestling figures instead of just like being a bulk guy. You can see over my shoulder here, I just have like a random assortment of Mattel Elites, and for right now I think I'm gonna just like collect Elites and have a couple shelves of wrestling figures and stuff like that. And I think it's going to be good for me to just kind of like refocus, and like comic books being a fairly new hobby where I like collect and like keep track of my lists and stuff like that, because I've been buying comics for years, but I never really considered myself a collector of comics. I just bought them to read, but now I want to like get the Jim Lee Batman runs and the Jim Lee X-Men runs and collect all of the Spider-Gwen variants and stuff like that. So yeah. But I've had people reach out to me and ask me like what I've been doing during this quarantine, and honestly it's not a whole lot. I've just been watching a ton of YouTube. Like I said, the NBA YouTube channel's been putting up a lot of classic games, and I've watched like 5 or 6 actual full games, and it's been awesome just like seeing the players that I grew up watching, like Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett and all those guys. And I've been watching Ozark with my girlfriend on Netflix, and that show is awesome. We started season 3 yesterday or the day before, and I think we're on episode 3 or 4 of season 3, and I don't want it to be over. I don't want it to be over. And I've been watching on Disney Plus a ton of stuff, kind of like knocking out the random Pixar movies and catching up on those. I think what I will want to do fairly soon is like start with Toy Story from 1995, 94, 94, 95, I can't remember what year it was, and just like watch all of the Pixar movies and like rank them and maybe do a video of my ranking of the Pixar movies in their order. And also on Disney Plus is the Spider-Man animated series from the early to mid 90s, and I've been loving that. I am on I'll be starting episode 11 next. I just finished episode 10, which was the Venom episode, where Venom debuted, which happened really early, actually. I was surprised in episode 8 when the symbiote suit debuted. But yeah, loving that show. I highly recommend. If you were a fan of it in the 90s, you should go back and watch it because it still holds up quite well. And other than that, I've been watching a lot of wrestling on YouTube and reading and keeping up with my YouTubers. I mentioned a few of them earlier: Leo London, Nerdbusters, DC Redaya, all those guys. So keep up with them, keep up with me, and going forward, expect a lot more comic book content as opposed to toys. So if you're into comic books, make sure you hit subscribe and give me some suggestions on what you'd like to see from the channel. If you have any like topics you want me to talk about or anything like that, I can definitely, try to figure that out. Looking to be doing content here much more often, at least once a week, perhaps hopefully twice a week. But getting this room put together and getting some floating shelves and getting new shelving units and just making the best of it. I'm hoping this is a more permanent residence, and we're not moving anytime soon here. Seems good so far for the first week, so I'm hoping everything works out. Hoping everything's working out with you guys too. Let me know how you've been doing here during these crazy times, and let's go forward together in this crazy life. If you want, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bevan Boychuk. Until next time, folks. I'll see you next time, folks.